Hello, I'm Susan Woods, your self-appointed Black Lives Matter investigator. Thank you for your time. I'm continuing the series, Why Black Lives Matter Money is Hard to Follow. I'm talking about reason number 3, which is no accountability, factor 1 of 10, which is decentralized. 5 reasons Black Lives Matter money is hard to follow. Number 1, no structure. Number 2, no transparency. Number 3, no accountability. Number 4, no consequences. And number 5, no next steps. So we're talking about why it's so hard to follow Black Lives Matter money, specifically the money that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation generated over the years, primarily last year in 2020, in which it generated over $90 million. So I'm trying to answer the question why Black Lives Matter money is hard to follow. And I've determined that there are 5 reasons for that. We've already talked about 2 of the reasons, no structure and no transparency. Now we're focusing on the no accountability reason. Now, reason number 3, no accountability, has 10 factors. So this reason is a lot more detailed than the other 2 reasons that we've already talked about, reasons 1 and 2. So there are 10 factors that contribute to the no accountability reason. 1, decentralized. 2, chapters. 3, IRS reports. 4, 501c3 status. 5, news networks. 6, corporations. 7, celebrities. 8, fiscal sponsors. 9, the founders. And 10, the protesters. So these are the 10 factors that contribute to the no accountability reason. We're focusing on decentralized in this video message. So Black Lives Matter is a decentralized political and social movement with no formal hierarchy. And this is from wikipedia.com. I chose that definition because it is concise and it states and supports exactly what I'm talking about in this video. Since June of 2020, I've been investigating Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation and all of its entities, and it's decentralized. It's decentralized on purpose. The founders decided to create a decentralized structure so that there would not be a hierarchy. They didn't want a hierarchy in the traditional sense. They wanted all of the entities to operate separately or decentralized, not reporting into a central leadership structure. And that's what they created on purpose. This is what centralized versus decentralized look like in a graphic. So on the centralized, in a centralized structure, you have a leader. You have the one leader, as you can see in the little gold circle here. You have the leader, and then you have the entities or employees, or however you want to use this example, but you have people reporting into a leadership structure. This is a very simple image, but it gives you an idea of the differences between the 2 types of structure. So in a centralized structure, you know exactly who the leader is. And in nonprofit organizations, you know exactly who the executive director is. You know who comprise the board of directors. You know who to go to if you have a concern or a complaint or a compliment even. But you know there's a structure, and that gives you a sense of, or it should give you a sense of confidence that this organization has control over all of the entities that report into it. I don't know of any successful organization, whether it be a nonprofit or a for profit business, that is successful without having some type of structure, some type of centralized structure. Now, on the other hand, as you can see, the decentralized structure does not have that leader at the top. Everyone kind of operates on their own. And that's how the Black Lives Matter structure is. Every entity, every chapter operates on its own. They make their own rules. They don't have to report, if you will, to a centralized leadership structure because the leaders have told them that they don't have to do that. So you operate on your own. But what we've seen over the past few months is the fact that these chapters or entities that are decentralized and operating separately from a leadership structure are struggling. They're struggling because, in their minds, like most people, you would think if you reached out to the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation for financial support, for guidance, that they would be there. But what they failed to remember is they signed up to be a part of a decentralized structure. Therefore, they should not expect to get any support from the leaders because there are technically no leaders. It doesn't make sense. So that's why you're seeing several chapters. It started out as 10 chapters who wrote and chapter leaders who wrote an open letter to complain about the lack of leadership, which is so funny, so ironic. They're complaining about the lack of leadership. They're complaining about not having any funding sent to them from the so-called headquarters. How can you complain about it when that's what you signed up for in the beginning? So, as you can expect, the so called leaders are saying, you knew what you signed up for. We're not obligated to support you in any way. And they haven't. Now, the founders, of course, all of the founders have separated themselves or left the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. None of the three founders are still a part of any Black Lives Matter entity. They are no longer involved with Black Lives Matter. And they're supposed to have some type of leaders or senior vice presidents or whatever you want to call them in place, but you still don't understand how it's working because it's still a decentralized structure. So this is the difference. You have centralized and you have decentralized. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation and all of its entities operate under a decentralized structure. Which one looks more organized to you? In the next video, I'm going to transition to talking about the second factor that's under reason number 3, no accountability, and that's chapters. I'm going to really hone in on the chapters of what used to be chapters under the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. I say used to be because the leadership that left, the founding members that left, dismantled the chapters structure. So there are no chapters. So we'll talk about what happened to the chapters and what replaced the chapters in the next video message. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate your support and encouragement. Have a great day.